Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? I just want to let you guys know real quick, I just want to put a disclaimer out. This is not a hate video towards anybody. I'm just voicing my opinion, and I know a lot of people see this as a very touchy topic to talk about fathers being in their children's lives and marriage and dating. This is a very touchy topic to people. A lot of people don't want you to tell them how to, live their life, and I understand that. I nobody should judge you, but I'm just giving you my opinions on certain, viewpoints on things, certain viewpoints on things. That's what we do on social media. We share ideas, thoughts, and opinions. And I'm going to say that later on again. But I'm saying it over a man singing to his daughter. So y'all can get, some warm, fuzzy feeling before we get into the real topic. All right, let's go ahead and get into it.
Oh, you are so beautiful to me. Yeah,
Hey y'all, what's up? What's up? It's your girl here, MJ's Nia. Welcome to the channel. So yes, I wanted to discuss the Cam Newton and the whole Nick Cannon thing, my point of view as to what my experience with certain people in my life that I've came across that are like them. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Now I want to say for the men, um, I'm not trying to bash anybody here. I'm not trying to make anybody look bad. I'm just going to play videos and give my opinion. And that's what we do on social media. That's what social media is about, giving ideas, thoughts, and opinions. This is not a hate channel towards anything. I don't make videos, towards. That's not me. I'm not the person that, oh, I hate men. And no, I'm just giving my viewpoint on it as to what I have heard and what I have seen. Or so yeah, we're gonna dive in. So I'm not trying, like I'm saying, I'm not trying to offend anybody. But we're gonna first start off with Cam Newton. I'm gonna play his video first, and then I'll give you my thoughts afterwards.
situation and not think that I'm not high function.
What situation?
Okay, so I'm not married. I have beautiful children.
How many?
8.
By how
8.
many women?
3. And this is the kicker. I want more.
By multiple women? What's the intent
I
of this
just want
saying? Or
God
by
to
your
bring
wife?
him. I just want God to bring him.
Oh, okay.
My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. So, as you had said, Dr. Brian, you said it, I didn't say it, I will agree. I'm just taking my time.
You're not taking your time.
I am, though.
You're being very action-based. You're not taking your time.
I'm taking my time.
You're being very action-based. You have 8 kids with 3 different women.
Yes.
You are creating, procreating, and multiplying. That is not taking your time. You're being very selectively active. Okay? So you're creating, in disclaimer, the kids are innocent, they are beautiful and amazing. Anything I say has nothing to do with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want
A lot of people see my situation and not think that I'm not.
with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create broken families, even if you're in their life and you're a proactive father, and I believe you're an amazing daddy. I can only imagine with just your presence and knowing you. But these families are still broken. Every child cannot have Papa in the house with them. So some child, if not all will end up with some kind of deficit without daddy being there. Now, you chose to do that. I'm not saying you sat there and woke up one morning and said, I want to be selfish today, so I'm going to go make a baby. Not saying that at all. But those are selfish acts at the expense of your fear. And yeah, that is a low functioning behavior to say that I'm going to build these houses and put kids and these beautiful women and kids in them, but I ain't going to create a home and with them babies. But you are proactively choosing where you want to be active at and where you want to take your time. You want to take your time in having a wife because of your own fears. But you will, and I say this with all respect and love, what I'm about to say next, okay, Cam? But you will selfishly create.
So yes, I've actually had. This is where the experience, when I mean experience with men with money, because you will meet people in general that makes way more money than you, and I had men approach me when I was young and older. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, she's upset because she's not married. No. This is not about that at all. That's not what this is about. Um, what I tend to notice is what I want to get the point across is men with money, some of them, they think that just throwing money at the mothers and the child, that's it. That's all they need. The child only needs money. They don't need love and affection from their father. They don't need the hug, if the child is going to have soccer practice, excuse me, the father don't need to be present there, just the mother. You see what I'm going at? I had this conversation with a family member, and he was saying the same thing that Nick Cannon said. Or AKON said it too.
Do you agree, like Nick Cannon and his spreading of his seed?
100%. I agree with him 1,000%.
Oh, but no.
That's how life is supposed to be.
No.
Why not?
Because
he's rich.
No, but this is
no.
See,
hold on,
wait.
Let me finish.
Okay, go on.
He's rich. He's responsible.
Is he?
Yes, he takes care of every one of those children.
But this is the
And the baby mothers with it. And they hurt for nothing and they live comfortably.
No, but what about the kids though?
What about them?
Because this is what I mean about men, right? You guys think that just having kids and giving money is enough. But what about the time? No.
He's there for every one of them.
How? There's no way that you can
Are you serious, Nick? He's there for every single one of those kids.
There's no way that you could have
12
it is.
Kids. I got 9. And I'm there for every one of mine.
So every single time you're at every single recital?
No, that's a white man's thing. Who gives a fuck about a recital?
No.
My job, seriously, my job is my job is to raise my kids.
No, but this is...
Hold on.
Go
to be
on.
responsible.
Yeah.
To be understanding, to protect their mother, to give hand with their father and assist with family planning, and to be responsible.
A man doesn't need to be present. Yes, they do. It plays a very huge role in a child's life with having 2 parents. It plays a very huge role. And I don't know who I think Cam Newton was a football player. Let me know. But I know he has money. And what I tend to notice is, I've had men who make way more money than me, way more fancy car, have big houses. Because where I had lived at one time, it was Windermere, Florida. If you guys don't know Windermere, Florida, that is a place where wealthy people live. But I lived in an apartment complex, okay? So, I'm not bragging, but I'm just letting you know where I lived at. Every time I went to these gas stations or to these stores, men would try to pick me up. And I can see that they'll try to flaunt their car, or they'll try to flaunt how much money they make. Because there is also another scenario that I don't like when I hear other women talk about this. They mostly state like, oh, well, women who are not like Dr. Bryant, they can't be fooled. And I was like, so the narrative was spun that women who are poor or working class like me, we are the ones that can get bamboozled or swindled into having their babies. And I'm like, that's not true. I have told not one but several men no, because I realized the first time they approached me, they used their cars. Oh, you see that car over there? That can be you in it. Things like that. They'll try to come up with some type of, some type of way to approach you, some hookup line trying to get with you. I'm not that type of person. I've never been that type of person. I don't run after money. So I want people to understand that people out here does that. They will try to use money over your head to make you do whatever they want you to do. And that's what I'm getting at. And a lot of people were talking about the broken home, which that is true. These men like Cam Newton, they're creating broken homes, and they think that, well, I have a lot of money, I can do that. I can take care of all of them. That's good. You can take care of all your families, but you're not there present in the children's lives. That's another huge problem. And then another thing too is going to all these different types of women and impregnating them. I'm sorry. I'm going to sound like a bitch, but I will ask you, if you have been with so many different women, even if you're don't even have kids, That to me is a red flag. You done been with over 10 women and you're coming to me to make you the 11th woman is ridiculous. Or and you don't have no ring on the finger. To me, it sounds like you're still trying to find life. You're still trying to figure out what you're doing. You're still having fun. If you're a person that done been with so many, because I don't do that. I don't date. If you didn't know that about me, I don't date. Dating is for people who wants to be boyfriend and girlfriend for a long time. So let me explain why I say I don't date. So it's really not a bad thing because a lot of people look at it as something is wrong with you. Actually, it's a normal thing. So the reason why some people, and you'll hear some people will say it, or some people won't say it, but I'm one of the few people that will say it. And then it's like underneath dating is friends with benefits and hookup. There's also, this is another website says the same thing, friends with benefit. Also later on, I'm going to discuss online dating. Group dating, which is weird. Now, when I saw the group dating, I shouldn't have been surprised. Open relationships, poly relationships, and throuples. So open relationships, in an open, you know what that is. Anybody, you and your partner both have open relationship, which is one or more partners. Poly relationship, people have multiple intentional and intimate relationships at the same time, with the knowledge and consent of everyone involved. Throuple is a romantic relationship between 3 people. So threesomes. So yeah, that's why I tend to say I don't date, because dating can mean anything. And I found out that some people were actually they use dating to cover up as to what they really are doing. And the majority of them are talking about hookups. Sometimes they're talking about these things here, the open relationships, poly relationships, and threesomes, which is throuples. So that's why I mean by that term that I don't date, because like I say, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're dating one person. It can be a hookup, it can be a one night stand, it can be friends with benefit, it can mean anything. So I want to make that perfectly clear. And according to certain articles, for hookup culture, and for one night stands, and threesomes, that's literally what dating is now. If you didn't know that. But yeah, so a lot of people, they will call me a name because I don't want to date them, because they say, oh well, why? You done been with so many different women, but you mean to tell me not one of them you didn't want to marry? Are you just looking at them for their sex, for sex? Not one of them. I just want to ask that question. If you done been with so many different women, vice versa, same thing as a woman. If you done been with so many different men, not one of them look like husband and wife material. And that's the issue that I'm having with these conversations, is nobody cares about marriage anymore. And he even said later on in this video, you have to go watch the whole video, it's on Dr. Bryant's channel, that he's fearful of divorce. Kash Doll even said this too, that she'd rather have a baby than to be divorced. She said she'd rather be a baby mama than to have divorce, even though the man left her and she's now with this baby.
Neither. All I do is just make it about what I post. What if I was lying and y'all just took it and run with it because y'all so happy to hear some bad news? That is sickening. I feel like as women, we should put ourselves first anyway. And that ain't got nothing to do with just men. It's just period. We bring so much to the table. It's just, I want to do y'all, can I ask them, like, do y'all believe in God?
Hello, Jesus Christ?
I don't think a lot of y'all believe in God. That's why y'all move and be so fucking cruel to people. Y'all need to start believing in God. Go talk to him. Go sit down. Go get on your knees and pray. Y'all mad about my breakup more than me. Why do y'all keep coming on here talking about y'all sorry for my breakup? Leave me alone. I ain't sorry. What if I was lying? What if I was lying about what I post? What if I was lying and y'all just took it and ran with it because y'all so happy to hear some bad news? That is sickening. I feel like as women, we should put ourselves first anyway. And that ain't got nothing to do with just men. It's just period. It's harder for you to break up with somebody. Because now y'all got to go to court. That's all that do. Don't make nothing. Like, I had my baby for me. My babies came from me because I wanted my babies, not to keep them around. So don't ever get it twisted. Don't act like, oh, she's just stuck. I ain't stuck. I'm rich. Buka. Yeah, then especially when you have a little girl, you just be like, oh, no, I'm not dealing with that type of shit. I ain't downplay marriage, but y'all act like marriage is everything. You can break up when you married too. You can break up when you in a relationship. You can break up when you're not in a relationship. So you can break up at any time. I just hate how y'all just make it seem like that's the way of life. So you want a woman to turn 30, 32, 35 without no kids because she waiting on a nigga to do the right thing? Y'all keep talking about a ring and being married. That shit don't stop neither. All that do is just make it harder for you to break up with somebody. Because now y'all got to go to court. You wait on a nigga to do the right thing, you won't never have no kids. And we here to reproduce. So guess what? I have my kids. They here and I love them. They mine. Whoever got something to say about it. I don't feel like no relationship will be perfect until both parties is ready. And that has nothing to do with what type of woman that is or what type of man that is. Just one person wasn't ready and one person could have been. Okay, I don't sit up here and just talk about all my business on social media all the time, but I go through just like y'all. I never claim to have the perfect situation. I just express it, you know, and through pictures and videos. I didn't hide my situation because I had beautiful kids out of it, but that's not my life of just sitting here pretending like everything is okay, because it's not. Yeah, like, I don't know why y'all want to laugh at another person's downfall. That's Black Sure Blessings. I don't laugh at when other people go through things, because it is what the fuck it is. Guess what? And it ain't gonna stop. You wait on a nigga to do the right thing, you won't never have no kids, and we here to reproduce.
And it's like, what is wrong with people? They don't want to go through divorce. They don't want to go to court. But what if you sue somebody for child support? Ain't you going to court? Because that's what all these women are going to do. They're going to sue for child support. That's why they're getting with these men, because of their money. No, there's no love. There's no bond. There's no falling in love. It's just money and sex. It's just lust. That's all I see here. So we're going to go on. Yeah. So that's my viewpoint. That's what I say. A lot of people, especially men, they're going to be, they're going to get upset about it. But I had to bring that out. Like, let me play Nick Cannon video for you guys.
Dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked, and at times have I been manipulative and prey on certain things just because I'm a man,
right?
And
but not all men do that. We don't want to blanket all men.
And all I will take advantage.
Do not prey and manipulate. Not all men.
First of all humans prey and manipulate, but in a man in a relationship,
not in a praying way.
If I see that I can say, okay, I feel like I need this and this person has this, I'm going to do and say whatever I need to do to get that.
But Nick.
So therefore, I have dealt with some people that balance me and are equally yoked, and at times...
With all due respect, seriously, to all the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying this, the reason why it's worked for you is because you have chosen and to prey on low-functioning women who don't have the emotional intelligence. No, I'm going there. Who will allow you to do that, Nick? And when I say allow, it's not a control thing. When I say allow, I'm not saying that she sits across you and says, this is what you won't do, you're crossing a boundary. Nick.
I disagree.
With all due respect, seriously, to all the women that you've encountered, ladies, I'm saying.
I don't know if it's the Libra in me, if it's my abandonment issues as a child. I'm quick to be like, we agree to disagree, so I'm out. I'll run, I'll detach, I'll act like, I'll shut down, I'll internalize. And I know that's not healthy, but just as a man, to stay away from conflict with any woman in my life, I'll just be like, we agree to disagree. Yeah. You can have that. I don't know if it's the Libra in me, if it's my abandonment issues.
And there you have it. The Cam Newton says he wants more children My desire to get married is lower than my fear of divorce. Okay? I was just talking about that earlier.
With all due respect.
And I'm so glad that she brought this out, because there's a lot of miscommunication about who these men are getting. They're getting women who have a low self-esteem. They're not getting women who, because there's a narrative being spun that if you're not high educated like Dr. Bryant, you're not a doctor, a counselor or somebody who's well educated, you're gonna fall into this trap getting with these type of men. No. I just gave you my experience of me standing up for myself to these type of men and telling them, what type of person I am, So I wanted to bring that out, and she brought it out too, is low functioning women. These are women with low self-esteem issues, or they're running after, that American dream, which I have discussed on this channel, that does not exist in America. They're running after the American dream. So I'm glad that Dr. Bryant brought that out, because there were people who were saying like, oh, well, yeah, they're going after women who don't have no money and who's working class. And I'm like, okay, I did hear other people saying this. I'm like, no, you're trying to say that women who are like me, we're the ones that's trying to run after these men. Absolutely not. That's why I gave you guys that long drawn out of explaining myself on Cam Newton. No, ma'am. Absolutely not. So I'm glad that she brought that out, that this is low functioning women. And if you find yourself in this category, you need to get out of it, because like he stated, Nick Cannon, he literally said, I have been manipulative and preyed on certain things. Yes, because I'm a man. Not because you're a man. You're a manipulator. Not all men do this. Putting all the men in the same category. I don't like this. Putting all the men in the same category. Then talking about I'm a Libra or zodiac signs. Oh, because I'm just certain type of zodiac signs. I'm so sick and tired of people doing that. Like, stop making excuses. So I wanted to bring this. I don't know where I'm going to put this at, but I want to bring out, there's an article about, fathers being absent in children's lives. And Dr. Bryant talked about broken families, because she came from the projects, and she came from the streets. Well, not from the streets, but her family, her father and her mother, she I don't know if I'm going to find the video, but she pretty much talked about how she was from the hood and she was from a broken family. And she literally said that, that's why she fights so hard for Black communities, that's why she's fighting so hard. She's not doing this to make the men look bad. She's trying to let men see that who are like this, that money is not the answer. It's love. So let me read this part for you in this article. It says, father absence hinders development from early infancy through childhood into adulthood. The psychological harm of father absence experienced during childhood persists throughout the life course. The quality of a father-child relationship matters more than the specific amount of hours spent together. And it says non-resident fathers can have positive effects on children's social and emotional well-being, as well as academic achievement and behavioral adjustment. So this article I'm gonna let you guys see. It's very important for a father to be there. It's not just the mother. The father needs to be there too in the child's life. And it even brings out in paragraph 7, high levels of father involvement are correlated with higher levels of sociability, confidence, self-control in children. Children with involved fathers are less likely to act out in school or engage in risky behaviors in adolescence. Children with actively involved fathers are 43% more likely to earn A's in the school and 33% less likely to repeat a grade than those without engaged dads. Father engagement reduces the frequency of behavioral problems in boys, while also decreasing delinquency and economic disadvantage in low-income families. So I want to bring this out. It says 10 facts about father engagement. It's very important. So for the men who are thinking that this is not important, it is. It does play a big part in a child's life. You guys matter. I want you men to know you guys do matter, and we do need you in the household with the parents. With the children. So I'll leave this article down here below so you guys can read for yourself. but the father's impact on child development is very important. And that's why Dr. Brian is pushing this, because she been through this, and you see, even though she knows that this plays a huge part in a family. And as for me as well, that's how I was taught. You need to have a father and a mother present, husband and wife, commitment. This is how we were all brought up in my family. So I want to bring that out. That you guys do matter, the men do matter, and don't believe in this whole thing that all abort all babies. I've heard that all male babies, all boy babies. I don't believe in that. We do need men. So I do want you guys to understand. So this is I think her name's Six the Goddess. She played the Big Sean. He too as well talked about how he was rambling on and on. I don't know if y'all heard about Big Sean, but he was rambling on about how he didn't want it to get married or something like that. But I was trying to look for the video, and I saw that this YouTuber here had it. So I'll put a link in her description so you can go see the whole video for yourself, because she did give some very good key points in this video. So I want you guys to go see it for yourself to hear her commentary on it. But I want to play this video for you guys. It's about Big Sean. She has it. So I'm going to play it for you guys, and I want you guys to listen to it, to what he said.
I mean, but just like, to be real with you, just like any people who have dealt with love, we've had our ups and downs, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's still finding the right navigation through it all. I don't know if to me, marriage symbolizes like the best relationship. People be like, oh, you got to get married. To me, I feel like having a relationship is first and foremost, and like marriage is a byproduct of that. And I feel like a lot of people get the idea of like, oh, you have to get married. But then it's like, to me, that's almost a fear-based way of thinking too, because then people be getting divorced. The divorce rate's so fucking high. And I am someone who, I'm not like discounting anything, and I'm not saying that we aren't gonna get married. But what I'm saying is that it's just, I would like to do a lot. I would like to, and I don't like putting our personal business out there like that either. But there's a lot of work that needs to be done. I feel like, in general, we have so many relationships. It's like being peers, being in a group together, parents, romantic, all that. It's like it's a crazy connection, because no matter what, we're always going to be tied together, no matter what. So I think that doesn't discount that, like, she and me both have to be on the same page. Not to say we aren't, but I feel like I can only speak for myself, that there needs to be like more work done so we could keep going, because there's a lot of focus on our family. There's a lot of focus on careers and everything, and that is something that I feel like has not been the main focus.
So y'all not necessarily together now, y'all just figuring it out.
Oh, look at you, Charlotte.
I'm just asking a question.
No, I'm not saying that either. That's, what I'm saying is that it's not perfect, and that it needs to be work done.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Stopping y'all from getting married. Y'all already did one of those secret.
All right. So I'll just,
So I want to come out and re-record this again. I think I made some I think I made some mistakes when I talked about Big Sean. So I'm gonna re-record this again. His situation with Jhene and Aiko is different. It's not the same as Cam Newton. He's not bad off like, them, like Nick Cannon, going around pregnant a woman. This is not the same scenario. With him, did you hear what he said? He said that he was not quite perfect. I don't know what happened between him and his other ex-fiance. He was supposed to get married and something happened and they called it off. I'm not quite sure why, but I think that's the reason. I think that's one of the reasons why he doesn't want to get married to Jhene Aiko. Another reason too was this YouTuber who was, you gotta go listen to it. She talked about how she believes that it's Jhene Aiko's the problem, which was weird. That was her point of view on it. Like I said, all of us have we have our own opinions. And I listened to it and I was like, I don't understand what she mean by it. But Jhene Aiko, she has another baby daddy by Amarion's brother. I think his name is Amari. I don't know what his name is. They look alike. They look alike. Him and Big Sean both look alike, and I thought that was quite odd and that was quite weird. And she brought that out, this YouTuber that brought that out, and I was like, very interesting. I didn't know that. I never would have looked at it. So not only that, Big Sean music hasn't been really popping.
What is going on with Big Sean, y'all? What is it? Sean, what is going on with you, man? Because this latest music you've been dropping is not Big 3. It do not got that Big 3 stamp of approval on it at all. I feel like if anything, this would probably be the best time to drop some of your best music and show people why you are or should be a part of that conversation.
You know, like nobody's really listening to Big Sean music like that for a long time. Like he haven't had hits in a while, so he's kind of like struggling a little bit with that. He's not having like hits like he used to have number one hits back in the day. Like he was like the one of the biggest rappers, and a lot of people felt like it all went downhill when he got with her. But I think it was going downhill before he even got with Jhene Aiko. I don't think it's really her, but I think it's because his career is not going off the way, and I think he got emotional too with his career as well. I don't know if y'all know that he's been talking about his album. Like I feel like he really wants people to pay attention to his music and
better me than you. So it's like when you go through it's like you the one who can handle it. So that's the concept of the album. So that's why I always remember, like, because it gets hard, your faith get tested for sure. When you make art, you put your heart into this shit, so I'm gonna take my time. Had to gather myself. But like I was saying, when you make art, you put a lot into it. And, I definitely am a chronic overworker, overthinker, and I've been dedicating a lot of my life to it. And I don't really try and read into what people ever say too. It's like, it's hard because you do care about your I try and stay focused on the path of keeping the music focused on what I want to do, no matter what people think. Sometimes if you read into too much, like the internet could suck the fun out of it. Just anything you do. So it's just like, as an artist, expressing yourself is just important to me to stay on that path.
Big Sean got visibly emotional while he was doing a live stream as he discussed his upcoming album that's officially dropping after a couple of delays. This is a tough stretch for Sean in his career. Big Sean, around 4 or 5 years ago, was known as one of the greatest rappers going, alongside the Coles, the Drakes, the Kendricks. But as time has passed, Sean's name just is no longer in those conversations anymore. And admittedly, Sean said he had a part in it. He just didn't drop music as much. He got incredibly successful, had a beautiful family, stepped away from the mainstream level of hip hop. The only problem with that is the game continues going. It just changes out the players. So when I see Sean get emotional online for whatever reason, because we don't specifically know, my assumption is Sean's having a hard time dealing with no longer being in that top tier of hip hop artists from a popularity standpoint. Has nothing to do with his ability to rap. I'm just talking about from a popularity standpoint. This is tough for him. This album's not going to do great first week. It just is what it is. As a fan, though, I will admit to you, as somebody that believes Dark Sky Paradise is one of the best albums to come out in the last 10, 15 years, I have not been invested in Big Sean's music in quite some time. But when I watch this grown man cry on camera, it tells me that he cares. Now, what does he care about? Does he care about the sales? Does he care about the music? Is it the competitive aspect of it? Like, yo, I just want to win. I want to be where I used to be. I don't know exactly, but it tells me Sean cares about something. And as a fan that has not been invested in Sean's music over the last few years, I'm definitely going to check out this project, Better Meeting You, because I can see he cares. That's enough for me to get invested and at least give it a listen. He deserves that much. He's impacted my life that much. So I'm looking forward to it. When I see that type of passion, I can only gain respect and get invested into something. With all this music we got, a lot of it's microwavable. Streaming has dumbed it down even more. It's good to see an artist, for whatever reason, publicly show that type of passion about something that he's doing. It's good. So I'm gonna check it out. I'll let y'all know what I think about it once I check it out. Are y'all still tapping in to Big Sean's music? He's not gonna do a great first week number. If he's looking forward to that, he might as well get that out of his head. That's not gonna happen. But if it's about the music, if it's about putting out a good body of work in the atmosphere and hopefully, you know, regaining that momentum in this second part of his career, the good music, no pun intended, will do just that if it's good music. Time, love, and support is what your boy never take for granted. Salute. I'm out. All right, y'all. The NFL season is here.
I think Jhene Aiko is here to help him with that, but I don't think he's looking at her as a potential wife, because he said it's not quite perfect. I don't know if it's because of him or it's because of her. So this is another scenario too where some people don't want to get married because the person who they with, they're very comforting, but they just don't see themselves, you know, as a husband and wife with them. They just want them around for comfort or for sex or money, whatever they can give them. And not only that, when he said that it's not quite perfect, why bring a child into it? And I'm gonna bring something out too. Don't bring a baby into this situation if you're having issues with your career or you don't feel like this is the person that you want to be with for the rest of your life. Another thing too is there's no such thing as perfect human beings. We're all imperfect on this earth. We're all going to make mistakes. So even when you get married couples will tell you this, you're still going to have problems when you have marriage. It doesn't matter if you're married or not. It's the whole key of it. When you have a problem that comes up in the marriage, you need to learn how to fix it and how to solve them. So I just want to put that out there. A lot of people tend to not get married because they are afraid of divorce. And that's what I keep hearing about perfect and being afraid of divorce. You're going to have problems. I just want to let you guys know that there's no such thing as a perfect human being. It doesn't exist. Not on this planet. So I just want to bring that out. With Big Sean's situation is different. And I felt like a lot of people attacked him in the comments, and I was like, I think his situation is different. I don't think it's the same like, you know, some other men. I think the reason why he's not getting married to her, which yet again, I don't think you should be in a relationship. If you know, if y'all happy together like that, that's fine. But just coming out saying that it needs to be perfect, it sounds like he wants to get married to her, but there's something wrong. And a lot of people are coming up with some type of answers, and like I say, some people are coming out and say maybe it's Jhene Aiko, maybe it's something about her that he doesn't like. I don't know. I thought that was very interesting, and I wanted to bring this video out. So like I say, he's not, his situation is different, but at the same time, this is another case scenario of people who want to be in a relationship and don't want to be alone, and they want you to comfort them, but they don't want to marry you. I just want to bring that out. So I want to share something that Cena said on the Shay Shay Club. I think that's what it's called. but I want John Cena to explain why he doesn't want children. And I hate to use black man versus white man. I'm not trying to do that, but I'm just trying to let you hear from a man as to why he physically doesn't want to not be there in the child's life. He knows that he's too busy. So I want you guys to hear it from his mouth. So let me play this video for you guys.
Little Johnny? Or Joanna?
That's great, and that's usually what everyone says. And I got to tell you, it's not the easiest out there because a lot of why we're here is to reproduce. I have a certain curiosity about life, and I also know the investment that it takes. And my biggest fear is, as someone who's driven, many times stubborn and selfish, I try to approach the world with kindness and curiosity, but I don't think I'm personally ready, nor will I ever be, to invest the time it needs to be a great parent. Because I wanna live life for all it is. And I still have a lot to do. And I still wanna do a lot. I have a wonderful partner I do it with. We've had open conversations about this. We share the same values. It's a tough subject.
You don't want a little Johnny?
I'm very happy with where I stand. I have a lot of joy and fulfillment in my life. And that's pretty much where I stand on that.
Was that a difficult conversation to have with your wife?
No, it was actually, I learned from every scenario.
Okay.
And I've learned from my past.
Yeah, because you had a reality show, right?
I did.
And it would play, oh man.
So no. Again, I don't regret that.
Okay.
I look back on that fondly because it really showed me who I was.
Oh, okay.
So when I begin, I got knocked off the bike. That's okay. I love love. Time to get back up and go find it again. And in that due process, I open with the uncomfortable conversations. So those were like first and second date questions with my now wife.
Yeah.
And it was great because we both got to lean into these uncomfortable moments and address this stuff. And now we've actually built a foundation where whenever one of us is feeling bothered,
right,
nothing's off the table.
Right.
I'm very happy with where I stand. I have a lot of joy and fulfillment in my life. And that's pretty much where I stand on that.
Was that a difficult conversation to have with your wife?
So if you guys did not know what John Cena is talking about, the reality TV show, I already knew about it because I saw his reality TV show. You know, I used to be a huge fan of John Cena and Nikki Bella back in the day. I used to watch the reality TV show. If you guys did not know, he used to date Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella basically wanted a baby. She wanted to have kids. John Cena didn't. And they had an on and off relationship. And basically in this relationship, I don't know if I can find a video. If I do, I might have to edit it, but because of copyright claims. But she wanted kids and he didn't. And that's what he's talking about. He learned from his past lesson. She wanted the kids, he didn't. There was one time where John Cena, even when they got back together, he told her that he would have the kids, but you can tell John Cena really didn't want kids. So Nikki Bella didn't want to do that to him. So she went on with her life. Both of them did, and they both married, and they got what they wanted. And she married somebody who wanted kids, and he married somebody who didn't want kids. So they both went on with their life. They didn't waste each other's time on and on and on. You know, they did kind of waste each other's time a little bit, but they made up their mind and went somewhere else. And the funny thing about it is, she was engaged to him. You know, this is what I'm saying. Other races of people, they want marriage. I don't know what it is when it comes to the black community. It's like a standstill, which takes me into the next conversation.
So Nicole, there's something that we need to tell you. And you might not be happy with it, but you have to hear us out because we love you and we did it for you. We asked John to come meet us for breakfast. And so he met Mom, JJ, and I. And we just kind of let him know, like, where we all stood and just saying that we had a sister. What do you mean where you all stood? Well, that we had a sister who always wanted to be married, who always wanted to have kids, and then all of a sudden, she starts sacrificing her lifestyle. Now she's sacrificing being a mother and a wife. We just feel like, you know, when is it gonna be Time for John to sacrifice. You invited my boyfriend, my man, the guy that I share my life with. You called him and had lunch to tell him.
Breakfast.
To tell him what I wanted without me there? Please tell me you're joking.
No, we're not joking. And this is maybe why
would
John
you do that?
has thought about all this. Because, Nicole, like, all we do is, like, it's been this, like, back and forth game with you and John. It's like
ongoing saga with, like...
It is.
With what
that you
want.
guys are never involved with.
What do you mean we're not involved with? You're the one who's always talking to us about it.
Did I just hear this correctly?
It's not as bad as what it is sounding right now. It was a great
Really?
conversation.
Because now my boyfriend wants to walk away from me. How is that not bad?
Well, that is John's responsibility, and I'm really sad about
But
that.
my closest family members take him to a lunch?
I get what you say.
Breakfast. You guys honestly had no right whatsoever to do that at all. And
We have the right to
whether
talk
it's
to
a
her we want.
conversation or not, Mom, you had no right to tell my man or anyone how I feel.
I'm gonna choose my words carefully. I can't give you that.
Have you not given me hope at times?
No, and I don't know what you want me to say.
But even about the marriage, I know how you were in the beginning, but you did have a turning point.
Have I ever told you that I was thinking about marrying you or even entertaining the idea?
You said that you were open to the future. You have said that.
I am completely in love with you. There's been a lot of things that I've been willing to change, and a lot of things that I've been willing to amend about my home, about my life. There are two things that I won't budge on. Marriage and kids. I understand how difficult this is. Don't think that I don't.
I just think, like, for a while I was okay with it. Not, like, seeing myself as a mom because I have an amazing guy. But I just don't know if I'd grow to resent you. I don't know if
That's the reason.
one day, 10 or 15 years down the road, I would wake up one day and go, why did that mother never marry me? Especially when I've been nothing but good to him. Why didn't he marry me?
That's the absolute reason that I've told you since the first time we saw each other, that that's where I stand. And if I have given you false hope between now and then, right now, I am correcting that mistake. I won't get married again, and I won't have kids.
I just feel like then I have to just rethink things because some of me feels like it was a mistake to move here then.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Now what?
I don't know. I don't want to do this. Birdie's been born, and I've spent a lot of time with Birdie. It has just brought up these feelings of really wanting to be a mom, and I don't know if I would regret it later on in life if I wasn't. But I love you so much, and I feel that's always been worth sacrificing it for. And I think just because, you know, we're getting married and everything's so permanent that it's just, not that it's made me feel suffocated, but it's given me just a bit of anxiety knowing like, okay, the day 5-5 comes, like that's it. Like, you know, the mom thing's done. And so I just wanted to tell you, like, that's what I've been thinking about a lot. And at times if I felt distant, it's because I've just been trying to really soul search. And I would never force you to be dad. I would never want that, ever.
I would never force you not to be a mom. I don't even want to say it's a surprise, but I even told you so many times that this would happen. I'm not sure we should go through with this.
And they had an on and off relationship. And basically in this relationship, and I don't know if I can find a video. If I do, I might have to edit it, but because of copyright claims. But she wanted kids and he didn't. And that's what he's talking about. He learned from his past lesson. She wanted the kids, he didn't. There was one time where John Cena, even when they got back together, he told her that he would have the kids, but you can tell John Cena really didn't want kids.
I don't think date nights can ever get old, but I think so many years down the road, to keep things exciting, I think kids help that in a relationship. I see the point of kids after you've been with someone for so long.
So basically what you just said across the table is, you will get bored of me.
I'm not gonna get bored of you.
In a hypothetical universe, say I was like, okay, we're going to have kids, and we do. And you find out that wasn't the real problem. And then years from now, you look at me and resent.
Right.
So I'm talking to you tonight, and I'm trying to ask all these difficult questions, because I don't know if you're just upset that you're not gonna be a mom, or you have fallen out of love with me, because it kind of feels like both.
John.
It does. There's no way that I can interpret your actions over the past 3 months as anything different.
I just want to be a mom. To constantly wake up and look at this beautiful thing that I made and to teach him new things. And
it's gonna be a him.
Did I say her?
You said him.
I feel like there's so much more I want to do with you and experience with you. It's just wanting to be a mom and knowing like you will not be a dad. So it's me who has stuck around thinking I can be okay with it, and I've just come to the realization that I'm not okay with it.
So it literally is just about being a mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can't have you out of my life. Ever. And I wanna marry you. And relationship and marriage especially is about sacrifice. And I will make that sacrifice for you. I will give you a child.
All right, so see, this is what I'm talking about. People are sacrificing things just so they can get married or just so they can be in a relationship. This is one of the number one problem now. And every time I hear about people getting married or they don't want to get married and there's reasons and there's so many issues, I always think about these two. These two are a very good lesson that everybody can learn. You can't sacrifice yourself just to make somebody else happy. By the end of the day, y'all need to call it quits. Y'all need to leave each other alone. And I was so happy that they went their separate ways, because this on and off relationship, and yeah, I want to have, and at the beginning, he didn't even want to marry her, but then he changed his mind to marry her. And then she still want the kids. He didn't want the kids. And then he was like, I'm going to have the kids. And then later on, she didn't want to be with him because he didn't want the kid. Don't sacrifice yourself, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Find somebody else who wants those same things that you want, or just focus on yourself being single. There's nothing wrong with being single. There's a lot of people who are happy being single. I want to bring that out. Let's get back to the original video. Nikki Bella didn't want to do that to him, so she went on with her life. Both of them did, and they both married, and they got what they wanted. And she married somebody who wanted kids, and he married somebody who didn't want kids. So they both went on with their life. They didn't waste each other's time on and on and on. You know, they did kind of waste each other's time a little bit, but they made up their mind and went somewhere else. And the funny thing about it is, she was engaged to him. You know, this is what I'm saying. Other races of people, they want marriage. I don't know what it is when it comes to the black community. It's like a standstill, which takes me into the next conversation. Unfortunately, I have some breaking news. Nikki Garcia's husband was arrested for domestic violence. Yes, I'm hoping that it's not her. I'm hoping that this domestic violence is towards somebody else. But let me go ahead and play this video for you guys.
ET has confirmed Artem was booked at 10:40 a.m. in Napa Valley, California on one charge of felony domestic violence. Less than 4 hours later, at 2:18 p.m., he posted $25,000 bail and was released.
What can I say?
Details of the alleged assault are unclear, but there were reported injuries and a 911 call was placed. Yesterday, Nikki confirmed she was in Napa. No word on if their 4-year-old son Mateo was present for the arrest. Just 3 days ago, the couple celebrated their 2-year anniversary. And there was no indication of trouble yesterday as Nikki commemorated their wedding milestone on her Nikki and Bree Show podcast.
Life has been pretty incredible. It gave us a chance to communicate about our marriage. Like, what are you loving? What are you not loving?
ET reached out to reps and there has been no comment. We last sat down with the couple in 2023, nearly 5 months after the wedding.
If you were to tell me this was going to be my husband and my baby daddy, like, I'd be like, yeah, right.
One big question now, what does this mean for Artem's future on Dancing with the Stars? ET has learned there were no plans for Artem to be part of season 33, set to premiere on ABC September 17th. Of course, Artem and Nikki fell in love after being paired together in 2017.
You just can't help chemistry and love.
Where it talks about marriage for black adults varies by states. District of Columbia had lowest percentage of married black adults in 2015 to 2019. So I'm going to read this a little bit of this article. It says U.S. marriage rates have been on the decline since the latter half of the 20th century, and both men and women are marrying at a later age. But the decline and delay are even more dramatic among black adults. So I want you guys to see that this is not something that you know, I'm being over exaggerated. I've talked about this several times on the channel. People have gotten angry with me. They have gotten mad with me. The marriage rate for black women is very low because there is no black men to marry out there. And I don't know if I played a video already, but I played a video of a woman already breaking this down, where she talks about that the marriage rate for black women and black men is very low because a lot of the black men are married to other women very quickly, or, you know, it's not enough of them. And then you see Cam Newton and Nick Cannon are a good example of this, but the women are sharing them with other men. So that's basically what's going to happen. And they talked about this. They said that if you get with a black guy, you most likely have to share him. And I understand other races of men does this too, but it's more with the black community. Another thing too is, I want to play this article for you guys where this person is talking about why the marriage rate is falling faster for some, how America has made it harder for black people to marry. I want to play this for you guys. We'll listen to it together.
In a weird place right now. Sure, I have anecdotal evidence, like I could open up my phone right now and see a dating app horror story in one of my group chats, but the numbers support this. Statistically, things in our society are shifting. According to Pew Research, back in 1980, about 6% of Americans 40 and over had never been married. Now, it's about 25%. If you've looked at the op-ed pages of any major newspaper, you've probably seen the hand-wringing about this falling marriage rate. If you open social media, turn on the TV, or if you've recently talked to someone who isn't in a relationship, this isn't surprising. But one thing that did surprise me, just how much lower the marriage rate is for Black people. It's always been lower, but the gap seems huge now. In the 70s, almost 30% of Black women had never been married. As of 2020, it's nearly 48%. So why do Black people get married less, and why does marriage matter in the first place? Today, on our latest installment of our Black Women and series, we'll answer both of these questions. And to help us do it, I called someone.
My name is Diane Stewart, and I'm the Samuel Candler Dobbs Professor of Religion and African American Studies at Emory University.
She's also the author of Black Women, Black Love, America's War on African American Marriage. I wanted to lay out the stakes, so I asked her, what's the big deal about marriage?
Marriage is a transgenerational institution that is expected of adults in all societies. I have never heard of a society that does not expect marriage of adults, right? It provides protection for elders, for children. It helps to regulate inheritance. It provides companionship. And in America, in this culture, which is heavily premised on the nuclear family unit, we haven't preserved kinship networks in many respects that are more welcoming or incorporating of the single adult individual. This is a culture that truly rewards marriage in our tax laws, in our cultural expectations. We expect it of adults. Marriage has been such a norm in human culture that I think it does become an issue of concern when we see the numbers dwindling. And the truth is, they're dwindling for all. Certainly women and men are not getting married as early as they did 1, 2, 3 generations ago. But beyond that, the numbers are dwindling in general across racial and ethnic groups in America.
Diane says that American policy doesn't support Black people finding partnership like it does for white people. The core of her argument centers around this idea that for a long time, Black love in this country was forbidden, and that it still is. It's a provocative statement, so I asked her to explain.
The capaciousness of this issue spans centuries. What I do in this book is address what most people have not been addressing in conversations about how rare marriage is, particularly for Black women and Black people overall today in America. And I address it by starting with the period of slavery and the slave trade. We have to begin there because that's where the problem begins, right? So I identify structures and systems that have undermined or compromised or actually made marriage, love, coupling impossible, difficult, delayed for Black people. And it really does begin in the era of slavery and slave trading.
I would also love for you to explain this framing you use, that marriage is a civil right. And, I think that's something at least I've taken for granted in a post-loving, post-Obergefell world. Like this idea of marriage is more than just this social thing or, getting ready to go to your friend's wedding, but there's a civil right involved here.
That's right. And if we want to look at contemporary movements and struggles that remind us that marriage is a civil right, let's look at the LGBTQ movement. That is a civil rights movement. And the movement was to gain the right to marry. We also have to remember that African Americans, although many married, the stable marriages were just not possible in the context of slavery. Those marriages were still not legal or official. African Americans had to gain the right to marry in 1865 with the passing of the 13th Amendment. We also have major Supreme Court decisions, over a dozen since the late 1800s, that affirm marriage as a civil right. And that includes the 1967 case of Loving v. Virginia, where the focus was on interracial marriage. It's a very inspiring case. It's a powerful case. It feeds into, I think in many respects, some might say the ideals, others might say the mythologies of America, that people have a right to freedom, to love, to dignity. It feeds into all of that. At the same time, Black women who prefer to or want to marry Black men do not have that right in many cases. On paper, it would seem that they do, but in practice, they really don't. So Loving v. Virginia outlawed anti-miscegenation laws, or basically said anti-miscegenation laws throughout the nation are unconstitutional, making the right to marry across race, ethnicity, constitutional, legal. And yet, in the 21st century, we see Black women in situations where they literally cannot marry Black men, into the millions. It doesn't mean every Black woman wants to marry a Black man, but there are millions who do and cannot.
People are getting married less, and I do wonder, is that inherently a bad thing? Should we be thinking about, rather than, encouraging people to get married, should we be encouraging people to change the societal norm, like how we raise our families, how the single adult, interacts with society? Are we focusing on the right aspect of this?
It's interesting. I've been asked that question. And one of my responses has been, I'm personally not interested in taking on the institution. It's been here for a very long time, and I don't think it's going anywhere. The question that I find more useful or helpful is, should we change how we marry, how we practice the institution? How should we make the institution more flexible? And I think that's what LGBTQ struggles for marriage have already opened up for so many. What we need to do is make room for the fact that it's not the norm. It's not the ideal for everybody. It's not the goal for everybody. And what does it mean to value individuals who choose not to marry? What do they bring to kinship networks and family networks? I think it's a matter of understanding that our societies are changing and the roles that we're playing as adults in family networks are different. And I think that's what's needed, is an opening up of how we understand the way adults couple or don't couple, or marry or don't marry. I think that needs to change.
I feel like when we have these conversations around marriage, it's treated very either or. Like, it's treated like, oh, either people are anti and they want to abolish marriage and all of these things, or it's treated as every single person needs to couple up. This is what it means to live in a society. And yeah, I feel like there are so many different ways to exist, and for all these different people to coexist and be in community with one another. And I don't think that's something that's really explored or talked about as much.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And I think we need that in our community building. We need that for sure. For example, people might marry and never have kids. I read an article last year about the single auntie and the role of the single auntie.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, single aunties hold it down. Single aunties.
Exactly.
Single aunties got me to college. I still call it the single
Absolutely.
aunties.
Yes, it's so important. And it's really interesting because the kind of book that I wrote, which focused on a problem, and it's not a problem because everyone must get married. It's a problem because many Black women want to. And I don't want to problematize that. I don't think that we should problematize the fact that many Black women want to marry. What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. I think we often adjust ourselves to the fact that there aren't nearly enough men to marry. And then we start making other kinds of decisions and adjustments. Why is it that we're not tackling the fact that there aren't nearly enough men to marry? So for me, I am totally open for the kinds of conversations and adjustments in the conversation that you're talking about. But I also want to be clear that it's okay for women to want to be married, for Black women to want to be married, even with the obstacles that we face. I think sometimes people feel that because of the obstacles, we shouldn't want to be married. Well, then let's just be happily single. I think we should be that too. because that's beautiful too. I mean, there is some joy and beauty in single life. I mean, I have certainly enjoyed it over my years when I've been single. So I think that those conversations need to be there as well. And the kinds of relationships that Black women are developing with one another in singlehood, that is incredible, amazing, very important way to model what it means to be a responsible adult, enjoying life for our girls, for our boys. I think that's really important. But I also don't want to lose sight of the fact that there is nothing wrong with wanting to be married, right? And therefore addressing the fact that there are systemic and structural barriers that prohibit it. And because we haven't seen that and identified that, we're not addressing those structural and systemic barriers.
Up next, we talk about those barriers.
All right, so you can play the audio down here. It's very interesting. I just want to let you know that this is a very serious conversation in the Black community. It's about marriage rate. Now, she also mentioned about marriage in general, that it has gone down. She didn't just, talk about the Blacks, but in general, the marriage rate has gone down for everybody. But it's mostly for Black people. And I'm sorry, as a Black woman myself too, I would like to get married. But if I'm not going to get married, like she stated, enjoy the single life. Don't sit here and cry about it like some women do on TikTok, but enjoy your single life. Have fun with your friends. Now, I also want to bring this out too. I remember people were trying to tell me to go on Tinder. I said, absolutely not. I do believe that dating apps have played a huge problem in this across the board, not just the Black people, but across the board. I think that this is the number one issue is dating apps. So let me read a little bit of this article. It says, marriage is going down. I'm yelling Tinder. I believe that. More than half of the people are now single. Is that because we can always swipe right, or because everyone else can too? So my immediate reaction to the news that half the United States is still single. As a 36-year-old unmarried woman in New York City was oh good, there are still single men out there, and B, I blame Tinder. Yes, Tinder. In the internet economy, choices are endless. You can always swipe left, and choosing just one person could be impossible when you are always wondering what else could be out there. I want to believe that multiplicity of choices has led us all to make more refined decisions, but it probably compounds the feeling of just not being ready to decide quite yet. Or it might be a little more complicated than that. Relationships always are. According to a study used by the Bureau of Labor Statistics for its monthly jobs reports, as of August, more than half of Americans are reportedly unmarried. The group of and this was back in 2014, I forgot to mention that. The group of 124.6 million single Americans includes people as young as 16 and older, people who have divorced or been widowed. Single encompasses a fairly large and diverse group of people. But you would be hard pressed to find a headline that didn't speculate about how we indicate trouble for our economy, but that once again, millennials can't get their ish together. It's true, more people are delaying marriage, both as couples and as singles. But is the reason we're all single really that men are now perpetually childlike and the ladies independent women? I like to joke as much as the next single lady about how sex and the city of my life is, but the stereotypes about single people are usually inaccurate. Don't take into account dating in today's complex cultural and financial realities. Single simply means unmarried. Not that anyone counted in singlehood's ranks is not in a relationship. You could be in a 7-year relationship going strong and still check the box for unmarried and decide never to participate in the intuition of marriage. But the only government and maybe your interfering mom will think you're single. Many long-term cohabitating couples have children and contribute to the economy in some ways that married couples do. Many might even consider buying a house, which is more expensive than most weddings, if they could afford to, but who can afford to buy a house these days? Marriage has long been mostly financial transactions anyway, but when marriages were exclusively a deal broken between a father and his son-in-law to ghastly costs of modern weddings, there's always been money involved. In the era of predominantly romantic marriages, now they are financially aspirational. They signal to the universe that you are now an adult and in babies' houses in the suburb. cars, and all the other things that keep the greater economy engine moving are in your not so distant future. The monogram hard pillow from the distant relative, however, will have already arrived. There is a kernel of truth to the idea that increasingly independent women don't need marrying for economic stability. Within certain income brackets, women are earning almost as much as their male counterparts, and in more lower income social economic strata, some women are even out earning men. This shift in who the breadwinner is and has now long shifted the necessity for women to have to get married. They can choose to, but they don't have to for financial security. It is more obvious now than ever to younger women that marriage is no guarantee of financial security in the wake of watching our parents and our friends' parents get divorced. After being a spectator to all that drama, many children of divorce are likely to take marriage incredibly seriously and want to wait married, if they marry at all. But this isn't some kind of post-feminist utopian dream. Many women and men still want to be in a monogamous relationship and still want to get married. A study of how many single people there isn't a group of empowered, happy people that simply don't want to be tied down. Many single people not in a relationship have to navigate being caught between two worlds, one in which everyone gets married and is the standard organizing people of our society, and one in which we can allegedly just have it all. They can't even pay our rent and are wondering if he's ever going to text again. Single and loving it hardly the reality. These days it's more like single and ambivalent while swiping right to questionable men on Tinder. I am grateful that retrograded ideas of dating and love are being disrupted by a new generation of people trying to make it work outside the confines of traditional nuclear family. But I'm perplexed because despite the infinite choices, it can still feel like you don't have any. So it goes on and on deeper until you can read more of that. But I know there was a big huge thing about the apps lately. I don't know if it was this year. I think it was at the beginning of this year. I saw that a lot of women are no longer using the apps. And I believe Bumble, I think it was Bumpy, one of them. Let me look it up. Okay, so if you guys didn't know, I think it was Bumble. Yes. So my friend has been telling me about Tinder for years, and I told her that there was somebody that told me years ago that Tinder, they went on there after she broke up with her boyfriend. She wanted to find, true love and, eventually get married, and someone told her to go to Tinder, and she was telling me about it and trying to, I said, I'm not interested, I'm good on being single. And she was talking about how she went on these dates. A lot of the guys, and I told my current friend, she's now not using it because I told her, I was like, she been left it alone. She said she saw that a lot of men was just there to hook up, and she just left Tinder alone altogether. And so apparently a lot of the women are leaving these apps. So Bumble had a Salisbury ad. So let me play some videos for you guys from TikTok.
This is for the advertising and marketing director over at Bumble, the dating app. If you're not that, you can keep scrolling. Bumble, count your days. You really have billboards all over the city talking about a vow of celibacy is not the answer. So what is the answer? Giving it up to raggedy, undeserving men? At Bumble, we've already been bombarded with people saying there's a male loneliness epidemic. They're tired of waiting on you to heal. They're going to start putting their hands on you because they're getting frustrated. So now we have all of this pressure from the news media, from society, from the patriarchy, from every direction telling us, just give it up, stop fighting, give the men what they want. And y'all are doing it too? At Bumble? Y'all are just as raggedy as the men you're trying to shove down these women's throats. You got men on here talking about ladies, some of y'all are going to have to settle. No. For the men out there who refuse to get their lives together to make themselves worthy catches for these women, but still want you to settle for them, no. To Bumble, trying to guilt trip and manipulate women into settle for these raggedy men, no. Y'all make that bear look better and better every day. For y'all to be an app that's all about women making the first move, and now you're telling the women what move to make? Who came up with this idea? Who greenlit this campaign? I bet it was a man.
Bumble is in hot water after scrambling to remove a series of ads arguing that celibacy is not the solution to women's dating problems. The dating app was called out on social media for their new campaign that included billboards with messages like, "You know full well a vow of celibacy is not the answer." People online were outraged, saying the messages rejected women's autonomy. One commenter wrote to stay away from companies that try to ridicule women for their personal choices when they don't benefit them. Other videos called on women to delete their accounts. Even actress Julia Fox commented on one viral post saying 2.5 years of celibacy and never felt better. Bumble posted an apology on Monday and said it would donate to the National Domestic Violence Hotline and other organizations that support women. The company said our ads referencing celibacy were an attempt to lean into a community frustrated by modern dating, and instead of bringing joy and humor, we unintentionally did the opposite.
Bumble needs help, and I say this as a seasoned marketer. There are two major challenges that I'm seeing right now, one being this billboard and this billboard. I just have to ask, like, Bumble, what focus groups or data led you to this campaign and messaging? And on top of all of these seemingly tone-deaf billboards, Bumble's founder is also claiming that AI personas are the future of dating, which people are just having a field day with on Twitter. This Twitter user responded to the news saying, "At this point, being happily married must feel like having had the morning off from your job at the Twin Towers on 9/11. As a marketer, I have to wonder, is anyone paying attention to the conversation that's happening online right now? Because here's what I'm seeing. A recent study concluded that over 90% of Gen Z is frustrated by dating apps. Yet Eventbrite has seen a 21% increase in interest for speed dating in person. There's also a growing trend of sexual liberation and not wanting to be like previous generations, which is ironic considering Bumble's messaging in their billboards, which almost feels condescending. Even without the data at this point, you'd have to be blind to not see the conversation that's happening online about the frustration of dating apps. And this is where I get excited. When big brands can't figure things out, it's the perfect opportunity for a smaller, scrappier brand to come in and steal market share. Experiences like Matchbox Dating in New York and 222 in LA are starting to pick up on this trend. The bigger question is, what is it going to take to change the modern world of dating and dating apps? Could in-person events and experiences help with this? Or is there something else that seems appealing for people that really do want to find love?
So yeah, I just play all those three of those. There's another one there. There's several women talking about it. A lot of women was upset about it, and they should. The women who was on here using these dating apps to actually find true love, to find their husband or whatnot, you shouldn't be getting involved with someone who's not having the same goals and desires and dreams like you. Not exactly, but if your goal is to get married and that's what you want to look for a husband, then yeah, not going looking for somebody who just wants you for a one night stand, who just want to hook up with you. So yeah, a lot of these apps, they were at first for marriage and now they're all about hookup. So unfortunately, what's happening is I've been noticing lately that a lot of these guys are going to non-dating apps. So let me share some of these screenshots. I'm gonna have to blur out some of these names, but let me show you guys something. They're now going to non-dating apps. So there's this app that I use because I'm a gamer and I stream video games on Twitch, and I'm looking, and I have another gaming channel, and I want to find gamers just like me. And I went online and I looked at this thing called Newtown. It says find new gaming friends, and it basically tell you in the details. It says Newtown is a social but not dating app designed to help gamers find teammates, pals, buddies, and besties to chat, play, and build lasting friendships. If you are wondering how to make gaming friends or looking for the best app to meet new gamers, multiplayer teammates, co-op partners, MOBA rivals, or just someone to chill with while grinding and leveling up in your favorite MMORPG, seek no further. So I said, this is pretty cool. I'm going to download it. Unfortunately, this is what I've been seeing on the app. So this person here is in Europe. He says, not gonna lie, kind of here for a gamer girlfriend. Gonna obviously get to know each other first and see what happened. I'm still down to make friends and play games. Only invite if we have the same games in common, preferably Minecraft. So clearly he's here to look for a girlfriend, even though the app said that it's not for dating, right? This is not a dating app. Looking for a human to watch my back. Want me a gamer boo for sure. This is somebody else. Noobly, I did found interesting people. So, with this being said, this guy right here, he's in North America. You can tell that a lot of guys are very angry because now they have to go to other apps to look for women. He said, I don't want none of you effing females. Literally don't know why y'all think all men want y'all. If you don't plan on being my duo, friend, or bestie, it's no need for us to talk or have conversations. Game listed below, hope to make some friends and memories. Now, why would you say that if you're not trying to hook up with anybody? Is the question that I want to answer. And then, hold on, I forgot one person. Let me show you one person. Now, before I go to the other, but this person came from the other friendship app. Yet again, when people are talking about why is a lot of young people talking to older people, this is the reason why. He said, hey, I found you on Rins. Hello, how old are you? Yeah, what's your name on Rins? He's like 18. Do you have Snapchat? And then automatically, all these young guys that are young adults, half of them all ask you if you have a Snapchat. And I already know what that's about. They want you to send nudes and naked videos. Just like, and that's another thing too. I had a lot of guys asking me on these apps that are not dating. These are not dating apps. These are just, regular apps to network, to help build up your YouTube channel and your Twitch channel. And these guys are on these non-dating apps asking for news, trying to be sexual, trying to hook up with you. So evidently, the women are now on the dating apps. Now, there's even more of them now on the other apps trying to hook up with you. So I blocked him. So me and this guy here, we were talking on Newbly about a video game and about, possibly linking up. All of a sudden, I'm telling him I'm a Twitch streamer and stuff like that. He said, okay, cool. I haven't talked to him in forever. He said, hey, love, I'm loving your energy and it doesn't hurt that you're beautiful. I would love to get to know you better. If you feel the same way, get back to me. Yet again, they're trying to hook up with you. And I know people might say, oh, Neo, you're reaching. No, this is a gaming app. This is about networking. I remember back in the day when I would be on these apps supporting my channel, it'll be one or two people. But literally every person that I have been coming in contact with, they want to hook up. I just have somebody where I was talking about video games and I'm about to do a horror fest for my gaming channels. I'm going to play horror games, right? For my Twitch and my YouTube channel. This guy said, oh yeah, I'm interested. He comes over to my gram and he's sending me pictures of himself. Like literally sending me pictures. And I'm asking him, why are you sending me pictures? Like, this is weird. I'm not trying to hook up. Clearly, I'm not making this up, guys. Let me read it to you again what Newbly said. So this is the Newbly app. And it's literally saying Newbly is a social, not dating. And they put that as an exclamation point app designed to help gamers find teammates, pals, buddies, and besties to chat, play, and build lasting friendships. This is not a dating app. All these apps that I've been using, they're not dating apps. They're like networking apps. And it's like, hello? What's going on? And it clearly, Newbly knows this, that there's an issue. And also, the other app, and then I went to another app. I'll blur out this young lady's name and her face. And she basically was telling me this. This is another app. I forgot the name of this app. This app is to just find friends, network. This is another app. And it basically states that she said, hey. And I said, hello, and I asked her, what's this app about? It says to make friends, but people talking about paying for sexual content. Is this an escort app? And she said, this app is supposed to be for new friends, but they turned this app into porn. There are a lot of weird people on here. I will be deleting this app. I will be deleting this app. This is a weird people. Oh yeah, I'm thinking about doing the same. Hopefully we can add each other on the gram. So we add each other on the gram because we did both delete the app. I still kept Newbly because, was it Rins? I don't remember which one, but they were literally banning a lot of apps. And on Newbly, they're doing that. I see that they are banning a lot of these apps. That's why I'm keeping them, because they are trying to get rid of the people who's there to just date. You can't come there looking for, you got to go somewhere else, people. So I had to bring this out. I had to talk about the John Cena thing. I had to give you guys more information. I don't want people to think that I'm being a bitch, but this is getting a little ridiculous that now that the men are going to the dating apps, you guys don't want a real relationship. You guys don't want to get married. You don't want to work towards it, but you want to come and bother people, especially women, on gaming app on networking apps. I'm trying to build up my channel. I'm not focusing on guys right now. I'm focusing on myself. And that's what you do when you're single. You stay focused. And that's literally what I've been saying. I'm going to be saying from now on. You need to stay focused. You guys are coming here trying to find a woman to hook up with, obviously. You're not looking for a long-lasting relationship because you would have been on the dating apps marrying people. I just want to bring that out. Yeah, you can get upset with me. I really don't care. But let me go back to original video and let's wrap this up and go. So I'm going to just put this up here for you guys. Just focus on yourself. You know, focus on being a better person. You know, don't focus too much on all these topics. And that's why I said I want people to watch to the end. Focus on yourself. You know, this person put it up here a few years ago, but I always tell people, focus on yourself. Try to make yourself a better person. If you like to travel, travel. I want to go to Japan. I like anime and I like video games. That's something that I like to do. You know, when I'm on my downtime, I like to play video games. I like to edit. That's why I do YouTube as a hobby. You know, keep yourself focused. Don't focus on all this negative stuff that you're seeing online. You know, if you're not married, nobody cares. Go have fun with your friends. Go out to eat with them. Go to the movies. You know, walk by the beach with somebody. You know, go catch some fresh air. I do it all the time. You know, the beach is my favorite place to go to. It's very relaxing. You know, depending on the beach. You know, the water, the salt in it, it tightens up your skin. So you and your body is both winning. Go to the gym. You know, the gym, exercise and relieve stress. That's another thing. Stop worrying about, you know, these people here who can't commit. And if you was a woman, if you're out there, because I saw a lot of women were very upset by this because these women are settling. Hey, let them do them. Hey, do what's best for you guys. Let them do them. And you know what? Like I state, focus on yourself. Don't worry about what these people are doing. Go on with your life because that's what I do. But I wanted to bring that out because I see a lot of people, like I say, women mostly, they were upset with what these men were saying. And, you know, all men are the same. You know, they all talking about just giving out money and that's that and nothing else. You know, a child doesn't need a father. No, a child needs a father in the home. But if you are a single mom, single dad, whoever, you know, focus on your children. Have fun with them. And, you know, you're going to get blessed later on. You will get blessed later on. But just focus on yourself. You'll be a happier person. Okay? But yeah, I just want to bring that out. But let me know what you think down below in the comment area. But as for now, I'll see y'all later. Peace.
Karen, they be sharing all their money, got me wearing fly. Girl, but I ain't asking. They say they love my ass and 7 G's to religion. I say no, but they keep giving, so I keep on taking. And no, I ain't taking. We can keep on taking. I keep on demonstrating my love, my love, my love, my love. You love my lady lumps, my hump, my hump, my hump. My humps, they got you. They got you.